Good afternoon, I'm Jim Dillingham with ShiftWorks Solutions. Today I want to talk to you about optimizing your staffing levels based on the organizational role. Let's start with production. If you go to part 2 in this lecture, the series of lectures, it tells you about optimal staffing levels for production based on the particular industry, and I would refer you back to that. So I want to stay away from the production people, which is often the heart of the operation, and talk about the peripheral support people, starting with supervision. I am of the mind that supervisors should be on the exact same schedule of the people that they supervise. So if you go to a 4-crew 24/7 operation, you need a supervisor for each of those crews. If you have 2 crews supervisors on each of your current crews, then you would need 2 more supervisors to go from a 3-crew operation to a 4-crew operation. You would go from 6 supervisors up to 8 supervisors. Quality becomes rapidly unbalanced as you go to a 24/7 operation. The way I look at how to staff quality, if you're on a 5-day schedule, now you're going to go to a 7-day schedule, is how do you staff quality when the minimal amount of production is going on, when the minimal amount of activity is going on at the site. For example, if you have a day shift, an afternoon shift, and a night shift, how are you staffing quality on the nights? I take that number and generally apply that to how you would staff quality on the weekends. So I take that minimum amount of staffing and say, all right, we need 5 quality people on site at night when not very much stuff is going on. If that's the number, then I would go 4 times 5. You need 20 people to cover 24/7 in quality, plus all the extra people on quality that are on Monday through Friday day shift. These are often lab techs, or they're doing non-shift work related tasks. So if right now you had a first shift with 8 people on it, a second shift with 5, and a third shift with 5, then what I would do is I would look at that and say, it looks like you need 5 people whenever you're running, but you need an extra 3 people to handle the extra stuff that's going on during the day shift. Therefore, to cover 24/7, we'd need 4 crews of 5, that minimum number, which gives us 20, plus we still need those extra 3 people, which I'm going to put on a Monday through Friday day shift schedule, which gives me a total of 23 people. So we went from a 5-day 3-crew operation to a 24/7 operation. We went from 18 people up to 23 people in that example. The next one is warehouse. Warehouse, I'm not talking distribution like I did earlier. I'm talking the warehouse that supports the production at this particular facility. So warehouse that supports production is often doing a couple of things. One is, during the day shift, they're receiving raw materials and they're loading outbound vehicles. During the night shift, they are often just pulling from a line and placing it in a warehouse somewhere. So while these roles aren't identical or exactly what you'd expect to see at every site, you get the feel of what I'm saying here. And that is, Monday through Friday during the day shift, the warehouse people are going to have a heavier workload than they do on the weekends or on the second or third shift. And so we would treat them very much like we just did quality. We would have the extra people still there on Monday through Friday day shift, and then just the minimum staffing to support production on all the other days. Let's talk about maintenance a little bit. The way I look at maintenance is how often does something break down unexpectedly? What is the cost of that unexpected breakdown? And what is the cost as time goes by? How much did it cost you to lose production for an hour or a shift? Those types of things. And this tells us how much we should invest in our breakdown maintenance crew, because that's what we're going to staff the second shift, the third shift, and the weekends with. It's the minimum number of maintenance people that we need to have that will be able to support the operation when something breaks down unexpectedly. So once we have that number, we might say you have a heavy metal guy, an electrician, and a hydraulic person. That's your minimum crew. You might want to call it a bull crew or something like that. So we need these 3 people there 24/7. So we would have 4 crews of these 3 skill sets, which give us a total of 12 people right there. Everyone else in maintenance goes to a Monday through Friday schedule. So this, in maintenance, not unusual to have, say, the number of people here on a second shift or on a weekend to be about 10% the amount of number that are here on a Monday through Friday day shift. The reason for that is a Monday through Friday day shift, we have a lot of stuff going on. That's when all of our project work is. That's when all the vendors are on site. That's when all the supervision is available and the planning is taking place and the R&D is taking place and the engineers are there and they want to try different stuff. There's a lot of reasons for having all of your maintenance people there during the Monday through Friday day shift. Just staff the off shifts with that bull crew, the minimum amount it takes to minimize the cost of a shutdown. Engineering staff. Some companies automatically think if we go to 24/7, engineering needs to go to 24/7. It's actually just the opposite. Engineering likes to get into an operation and say, I think I can make this line run faster. I can make that lift something heavier. They're always trying to make things better, and that's their job, and they're typically very, very good at it. But since they have to experiment, they typically wait until the weekend. If you're running Monday through Friday, shut down on the weekend, the engineers can come in and try different things. If they try something during Monday through Friday, which they can certainly do, it disrupts production. So when you go to a 24/7 operation, now it doesn't matter when the engineering does their tasks. They can still do it on the weekend if you want, but why not have them do it during the Monday through Friday day shift when they can have outside vendors come in and help them do their project work as well. So engineers actually are basically a Monday through Friday operation but do a lot of weekend work. When you go to a 24/7 operation, engineers actually consolidate and do most of their work on Monday through Friday, and there's no change in headcount at all. Office staff typically doesn't change. There are some office staff that needs to change. If you go from a 3-crew operation to a 4-crew operation, then you need to go from 3 clerks to 4 clerks in some operations. But you don't necessarily need a second vice president of operations. You don't need a second executive secretary or a greeter at the front office when the door is locked for 16 hours a day. So generally office staff is unaffected by a change of schedules. Doesn't mean they don't need to know about it. I mean, you have planners and those types of people. They need to know what hours they can plan for production to occur, but it doesn't mean that their schedule is going to change. And if their schedule doesn't change, then the head count probably doesn't change for them as well. So that's a very short blurb on staffing by operational or organizational role. Look forward to my next presentation where I'm going to talk about external factors and how they affect your considerations for optimizing your staffing levels. Thanks.